In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called Directorist. This is going to allow you to create any type of directory for your WordPress website. You can create, manage, and monetize listings with ease and turn your directory into a reliable income stream. Before we poke around the website for Directorist and look at the actual solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website and product for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this created for your business, go over to InfluenceWP.com and sign up for your partner membership, or you can purchase video recordings like this as a one-off service. And we thank directors for being a partner. If you like what you see in this video, go over to Directorist.com, which is the website we are currently looking at on my screen, and that we are going to quickly review before looking at the solution. Okay. All right. So Directorist.com, we are going to highlight the main trust pages if they are there. This is the running through the features, the documentation, looking for an about page, and looking for a change log. Those are the pages that establish trust. And then obviously we need to run through all of the features so we make sure we don't miss any when we go to set up the actual solution. Because this is just a high-level introduction, this is not a tutorial. There's the likelihood of missing all of the features. We can't show them all off in this video. So we want to make sure to read off all of the features without trying to just read the internet, but we'll see how this goes. All right, so let's find those features first. I'm not seeing anything up in the navigation area that speaks to features specifically. So I'm just going to scroll down the home page here. Build any type of directory, local business, restaurants, jobs, real estate, and so on. Let's find those features. Here we go. Powerful features. Directorist AI. Directorist AI is your smart assistant for creating powerful, customized business listings, local guides, and so on. So in short, an AI-powered component is built into this. Again, I have not seen this solution ever before, so we will experience all of this stuff for the first time together. Turn your directory website into a native mobile app. Multi-directory and forum builder. Develop a booking system. Advanced search filters. Create multiple income streams. Then you have a comparison chart with some of the, so HivePress they're comparing themselves to, and GeoDirectory. So you can check that out for yourself at directorist.com. But let's run through these here real quick. AI Assistant, unlimited custom fields, independent pricing plan with payments, multi-directory search, advanced custom filters, and drag and drop builder, geolocation, CSV bulk importer, scale to a large volume of listings, featured listings, ratings and reviews, private directory, 4 major page builder support, front-end listing submission and management, modern, customizable, and trending design, live chat, and 30+ extensions. I'm not sure if that live chat is built into the product or if that's what they mean for support, but I guess we'll find out. All right, those are the features. So let's now look for an about page. Let's see, let me just do a search here for the word about. All right, so it looks like we don't have an about page. I do know that the company behind Directorist is WP Wax. So maybe we can go over there and give them a little look-see real quick and see if they have an about page. Here we go, company, about us. Let's go ahead and dive in here. So we've got a bit about the company. We've got some real world photos of the team. So this is good. Adds a little personalization. Their mission, their values. Here we go. Their leadership. So this is really, really good to see. So a great about page. I would probably recommend on the Directorist page to link to that. Okay. So that's the about page. We're good there. Let's look for documentation. Here we go. We have a nice link down here. Let's dive into a couple of these. All right, we've got screenshots with annotation. So this looks pretty good. Let's go check out another one. Okay, we've got a video, more screenshots. So some really nice documentation. I'm just gonna do a quick search in here. Let's think of a word we can type in. How about map? Okay, listings with map. Search works just fine. Okay, cool. Docs are good. The last thing is a change log. Let's do a search. Nothing is coming up. Let's search their documentation. Okay, nothing is in there. Let's go back to the main page, homepage here. Here we go. What's new, maybe? Let's try that. All right, so this shows 6 months ago, an update. Let's go back to all. There we go. So back here, we've got a month ago, Directorist 8.6 shipped. So this is their change log. It kind of takes you off their site, which is not the end of the world. Let's go back to their main site. Let's go back into the footer. Typically, we see this in the footer, some sort of a change log. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. So another recommendation in the footer, I would have a change log down here. And I would consider probably having it on your actual site too. But if you have multiple products and they do, I believe, then maybe this makes sense to have it on another platform. But you do lose a bit of discoverability when you do that. So, all right. By and large, this is good. No huge issues here. So let's go ahead and we'll keep this site open in case we need to refer back to it. But here we go on our test site. You'll see I have no plugins activated. Under themes, we have the default 2025 theme. And from my brief reading of Directorist, just from the documentation level, this will work with block-based themes. So we're just going to roll with the 2025 theme and just see what happens. So we're going to go over to plugins. We're going to install Directorist so we can see exactly what you're going to experience. So we're just searching the WordPress repo for the word Directorist. Here we go. Install now. It's taking a bit of time for some reason. I'm gonna go ahead and pause and then I'll just come back when this finishes. It could be my internet connection, so I'll be right back. Actually, before I could hit pause, it came in there. So let's go ahead and just activate this. Okay, here we go. So another thing I want to say is one of my specialties in my agency is building directories. So this is a first look video, like I said, but there's a chance that I'm going to be speaking to this like I know what's going on, just because of building directories for in general. Okay. Alrighty. So, what type of directory are you creating? This is why I wanted to install the plugin together so we can see this whole process. There is this AI feature that I think you can use to talk through what you want to build. So I'm like, I have this part notion to click not right now and exit to dashboard, but maybe AI is actually built into this part, right? I don't know. We'll see. Let me pause this real quick. Let me go back and read my welcome email. So 1 second. Okay, I went back and read the welcome email. The first thing that I want to say right off the bat is when you sign up, you're going to get an email, and they offer kind of like a free onboarding call. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that. I'm glad I went back and checked the emails because I would have forgot to mention that. But that's a really cool thing that they offer that. Back to the AI thing. I think we're just going to proceed through the setup here, and then maybe we will check out AI after the fact. I'm not sure if this use right here is using AI or will use AI as we go along from the documentation that I'm reading, or if it's like if we exit here to the dashboard, if there's a separate AI piece and that's how you use it's not super clear to me, so I can't really speak to it. But anyway, that's why we do these videos. Let's just roll with the default. We're going to go with a business directory. Add your location. Okay. Let's just roll with the defaults. But you see here that you can search or you can move this pen around. We're just going to go with. You can also skip this step. It shows down here. Let's go ahead and go. We'll go. Yeah. Let's just skip it. Skip this step. Okay, demo content and data sharing preference. Import data, demo data, and choose data sharing preferences. Okay, so that second one is they're both personal preferences, but especially if you want to share non-sensitive data with the team to help them out, totally up to you. When I'm building directories for clients, or educating clients, I often say to them, if you want to install demo content and whatever, do it in like a staging or like a test site, rather than a live site. So then once you get that demo data in there, you can then reverse engineer how things are built. Because a lot of times when you get demo data in there, people rely too much on it and they don't really understand how things are built until it's too late. So I kind of see demo data as like a learning tool. Set it all up in a test site and then try to replicate it in your live site. There is an argument though for using demo content. Obviously, you could get a site spun up faster. I've also seen where the opposite is true, where you're doing so much cleanup in the demo because you don't like certain things. It's no shade against directors, but it's just demo content in general can do that. And I haven't seen directors to know what's going to come out with, so it's just hard to say. But that's just my general advice and how I like to do things. But since we're just testing this out, I'm just going to roll with the demo content. So we're going to let them build the directory. I'm going to go ahead and actually we'll let this go. There we go. So that didn't take long. Okay, so your directory website is ready. Thank you for using Directorist. All right. So the next thing I want you to do is kind of a CTA to create your first listing. I don't think that's a step that I would take. So I would go back to the WordPress dashboard and just see what's what. So here we have our various test listings brought in. And this is all under the Directorist menu item. So we've got all listings. We can add a listing. We've got categories. We've got some locations. We've got tags. We've got a review system, it looks like. Okay, so anytime someone places a review, it comes in as a comment. We've got our settings, help and support, themes and extensions. All right, so let's just stay here in settings. All right, so we are in settings, listings, general, just looking at the breadcrumbs. Okay, so it looks like we have this main screen to go through. So the general settings, is this going to be a multi-directory? I'm not quite sure what that means. Let me do a search real quick. Multi-directory. Directorist multi-directory lets you create multiple directory types, post types within the same domain with different functionalities for each directory type. Okay, they call them directory types. That's just another word. I typically hear this as listing types, not directory types. So I understand what they're saying here. So while we installed a business directory demo, you could install like a real estate demo on or a directory site if you wanted to. So we're just going to roll with the default here. But if you need multiple directory types, then you can enable this. Do you want to allow people to submit listings as a guest? You can toggle that on. Do you want registration? If you do that, you want to verify the emails, I would do that. So we'll toggle that on. You can set a listings view, track logged in user views, cache compatible view tracking, enable real-time view count updates when using caching plugins. Okay, skip that for now. Listing currency. So choose your currency code, currency position of like for example, if you're using the US dollar, where do you want the dollar sign to appear? So it's before or after. Listings renewal, when to send expiration notices, when to send renewal reminders. There's a monetization piece there. I'm guessing there's also, if you don't want to use monetization, you can just say, set a global expiration date for listings, or even override them on a listing per listing basis. And I think this is what this is speaking to, because we're not into a monetization strategy yet. It's just, when do I want to send expiration notices on the listings? And when do I want to send that renewal reminder? So maybe you say by default listings can only be on our site for say 6 months, and then this is going to start kicking in based on that. Expired listings management. What happens when those listings expire? Do we want to permanently delete those? Do we want to set an expiration threshold, like after a certain number of days, let's delete those? So let's say that 60-day expiration comes, that listing is taken down, deleted in air quotes. Then when is it permanently deleted? So you can set the number of days there. Taxonomy archive. Use WordPress as default archive. Enable WordPress as built-in archive pages for categories, locations, and tags. Turning this on will disable Directorist. So Directorist has their own custom archive pages. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click save on that. Under all listings, you can choose the layout, the number of listing columns, listings per page, pagination type. Do you want to hide the top search bar? What are your filters text say? It's just a label. What's the reset text label for that filter, that button, whatever, however it appears? We haven't seen it yet. Header. Do you want to enable a header? So this is again for listing layout and search. Okay. Enable a header, display listings count text, view type, grid list map, default views grid, sorting options, sort by label, all these different sort options, preview image quality you can choose, medium, large, or full, or default. Default is got a certain value, so pay attention to that. How do you want to work with the image size, containers, background? You can blur or set a custom color. So that's all listings. That's going to be, let's see here. Let's see what pages this created. Here are the all listings. So this is basically what we would just be setting right there. So let's go over. Let's just set up a quick menu here for this test site. So it cleans things up a little bit. And let's just go with that. All I did basically is create a menu. I didn't add any items to it just to clean this up. Oh, I see. My bad. No, I thought I did that. I guess you got to set at least one item. Conflicts with another menu name. That's interesting. Oh, that's my fault. We're using a block-based theme, right? Okay. So I don't want to get into all of that. So we're going to change things up here. We're going to go themes. We're going to go I don't want to get into this video, the navigation. So with the block-based editor. So we'll just toss Ollie on here. Well, Ollie's a block-based theme too. Let's just go Hello Elementor. That's just a basic theme here. There we go. Okay, so let's go back to menus, primary. Here we go. All right. Little brain fart there. All right, let's refresh this. There we go. So it just cleans things up just a little bit here. Okay, so again, we set this. We just got through going through all of these settings here. You know how this lays out. It's currently set to a grid, which we see that grid right here. We talked about all these filters and what the labels are and so on. So this looks really good. We've got all the sort options. We can set to list. So from grid to list to map view. Got a search box up here, location, categories. All this is customizable here. All right. So I'll say it one more time, just as a reminder, because I start going like mentally, I start going into tutorial mode. And that's not, I gotta catch myself sometimes, but this is a high level introduction. So I got to remind myself that, this is not a tutorial. I got to stay high level. It's just a reminder for myself as well as the audience out there. Okay. Single listing templates. You've got various templates here. You can choose the look of the single listings. And by single listings, I mean going into this actual listing. This is the single listing. So you can do all sorts of things there. Choose the template, the way it looks. Disable a single listing view. Show single listings only to logged in users. You can change the slug that appears. So change the way the URL looks. Submission confirmations. Do you want a confirmation when someone submits a listing? What's that pending confirmation look like? What's it say? What does it say when it's published? Do you want to show a slider image? What image size do you want to have? What background color? Image width, height. So again, that is this single listing view you can fully customize. Here we have category and location. So you've got grid or list, number of columns, order by, sort by, display listing count, hide empty categories. So that's the categories page. And remember, we didn't turn on WordPress's default archive pages. So we are relying on Directorists. So if we wanted to see a category page, let's go to Directorists, categories. Let's view this page for food. Okay, so this is going to be our category page. We can see up here in the URL, single dash category is food. And we can control how this looks based on right here, the settings we are in. The locations page, same exact deal. Let's open up that page. Let's go to Bali. We can control how this looks. All right. All right, moving on, map. Which map provider do we want to use? OpenStreetMap or Google Maps. We can set a default latitude and longitude. We can force a default location. We can set zoom levels for single listings. So if you're within a single listing and it's got a map, you can control the zoom level. Zoom level for the map view. So that would be back out here. Let's see where we were. Right here. So this would be map view. You can control the zoom of this. And then again, I just know this because of I work with another theme, all the time, and we have this feature in there. So very familiar. Map height, it's pretty self-explanatory. Control how high you want this map. What do you want to show in the map info window settings? Got all kinds of options here. Let's go ahead and move on. There's a lot to cover. Badges. So I'm guessing this is badges on the actual listing. Let's close a couple of these screens. So we're here on, nope, that would be let's close this. Let's get to an actual listing. Here we go. So you can have badges in a couple of different places. You can have them within the single listing as we see here, I'm guessing. At least that's how I've seen it. Or right here on the actual, like what I call a preview card. So here we see badge display type. Choose how badges should be displayed on listings. Text badge or icon badge. Okay. So here we see we can set a background color, the text. How long should that new badge display? Here we go. So this is the badge right here where it says new. Cool. Okay, popular badge. So if a particular listing is popular, or you can even change the text, determine popularity by the view count or the average rating. You've got other settings there. You can set a unique background for that. And then last but not least is a featured badge. I'm not sure how it works with directors, but oftentimes featured is when they've purchased a certain package. So maybe that's the case here too. I'm not quite sure. Just know that you can style the badges. Do you want to allow people to submit a review? Do you want to allow the owners of the listings to actually submit a review? I always recommend not allowing that. Enable guest reviews. I recommend keeping that off. Allow review replies. Sure. Moderation option, auto approve reviews. Always recommend that. Display setting, reviews per page. Pretty self-explanatory. How many reviews do you want to show on a page? Okay, under page setup, you can always regenerate the pages. Not quite sure what upgrade means. I know what it means in general, but not in this particular context. Page, links, and view settings. Add listing page. So we're just defining all of the pages because we use the demo import. This is one benefit of doing the demos, is it's already mostly set up for you. But again, as I said earlier, if you install a demo fully set up on a test site, when you go to build it out on your live site, this is where you start to learn these things. Oh, I need to set this. Oh, this page needs to exist, and this is the content that it needs to have on it, or short code, or however it's built. When you just drop all of this in, you kind of like, you don't really understand sometimes how your site is fully built until you have to go answer some support questions or whatever. So pros and cons to each. But just know that if you choose the demo, this is all set up like this, right? If you're going to run a directory, I mean, any website, honestly, privacy policy and terms and conditions. Terms and conditions, it depends, but definitely privacy policy, get that set up. But they have a nice place here to specify that if you have one. But obviously, if you're gonna monetize your directory, then get those terms and conditions in there. Absolutely. But I think more often than not, you need those terms and conditions on pretty much every website. Let's go to search. So you've got, let's go back to all listings. I'm guessing that is this search box up here. Yeah, so see where it says search here in the bar title. Maybe that's not it. Let's go back here. Is this in search? Maybe they have another page. It's probably another page. Go to pages. Search home. Maybe this is it. Yeah, directory search. Okay. Find the best match for your interest. Let's see if we can find that here. Yeah, right here. Okay. Search here, find the best. Okay, so that we are in the correct spot. All right, so you're basically just building out this page. Okay. Pretty self-explanatory. We'll go ahead and move on. How does the layout and the search work for the search result? So if you go back here and you do a search, how do we want these? Let me see the search result right here. How do we want this to look? And that's what you are building right here. Okay. Under users, we can set up a registration form. And then you've got the various fields, password, first name, last name, all that type of stuff. You can link to our privacy policy. User type registration, that caught my eye. I'm not quite sure what this is. Maybe you can have different roles. Not quite sure what that is. Or it's like subscriber versus customer versus visitor. Then we've got a login, some login situation, some sign up situation, terms and conditions. Do you want to auto log in somebody after registration? Where do you want to redirect somebody after registration? Pick the page. All right, setting up your login form. This is basically the fields. Get a sign up message, a recover password situation. So, in short, building your login form. Okay. Dashboard. So, once they are into their account, which I should be, right? Let's see, not there. Let's see, author profile. I don't think, here we go, dashboard. Okay, so here is our dashboard. This is what we are configuring here. You can define which tabs are displayed, how the listings are displayed. Okay, so once again, you can fully customize how this dashboard looks right here. Okay, moving on, all authors. So this sounds like an author's page. Okay, we do have author profile. Let's go ahead and just take a peek at that. So this would be your profile, right? And this is all the listings I have, all the reviews, contact information, and all of that. But I'm not sure where all authors. Oh, here we go. Author, no. Select role. I'm not sure where the all authors page is. Not a huge deal. So let's just, maybe we can try just going to author. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. But somewhere there's typically like an author, all authors page. Am I just missing this? No. Let's go back to all listings here. Let's go back to our home page. Here, let's go all listings. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get into all authors. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Under email, so any emails arriving from this site, controlling those. When do you want to send out email notifications? Do you want to send out email notifications? All these different parameters of when to send, when to notify the admin, when to notify the listing owner when certain events happen. Here you've got the templates. So in short, design how those emails look, what information do they contain, and you see there here that you have a lot of fine grain options. Under monetization, okay, you can enable that, start accepting payments through listing submissions, currency, code, thousand separators, decimal separator, currency position. Okay. Let's go ahead and toggle that on just to see if, maybe that opens another setting. Here we go. I mentioned this earlier. Typically with featured listings, you monetize. People have to pay to be featured. Okay, so you can put a little information at checkout. What is the fee to be featured? How long are you featured when you pay that fee? So that's what that's for. Which gateways are you going to allow? What is the default gateway? We don't have any gateways installed on this test site, so it's defaulting to a bank transfer, i.e., it's an offline gateway at this point. But if you had other payment gateways installed, those would appear here. You could set the default, choose which ones were available. We can go ahead and test this real quick. I'm just going to drop Stripe in here. Oh, you need WooCommerce. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. What is a payment gateway that I can just install? Let's just go with this one. Picking the first one I can see. Okay, let's go back to our settings here. Let's save, refresh. Yeah, there might be something else I need to set up here. Yeah, I haven't connected or anything. I don't know if this is going to actually work. Anyway, long story short, when you get your payment gateways in multiple payment gateways in, those are going to, I'm assuming, will appear here from the drop down, and you can choose which ones are active and which one is the default. Because we have bank transfer enabled by default, you can choose the title, description, bank information here. Moving down to personalization. So this sounds like the brand color of the entire site. So if I change this to red, refresh. Yeah, okay. I'm not really sure what that changed. I thought maybe it'd be these buttons right here. All listing, let's go to the front end. There we go. So that's where it changed the branding. See that red come into play? It doesn't affect the back end. All listings map marker. You can have a shape color. Let's set this one to this bright green just so we can see it. You can choose the icon color. So let's go close some of these things down. Refresh. All listings map marker. Okay, we need to go back to all of our listings here. We need to go back to the front end. Pages, all listings. There we go. So we start to see that's that brand color we set, that red. Let's go to map view. And then here we see that green right there. Okay. Moving on. Extensions. Need more features. You can do you can add new features, expand the functionality of the plugin even more. Check out the awesome extensions. All right, let's try that out. So once you are a paying customer, I'm assuming, I don't know what's included in here for free. But let me pause, let me sign in, let's see what happens. Okay, I am signed in and we are coming back and we've clicked on this themes and extensions. Let's go back over here where we'll start where we were at. So I was over here and I clicked on this right here, extensions. I expanded that, need more features, and we clicked on that link. Okay, so that brings us back here, which brings us back to this themes and extensions, its own little submenu there. And I am signed in as a pro customer, a paying customer. These are our extensions. These are the themes that we can use. That's the current theme installed. And then we have these available with the subscription are these other themes. Let's go back to their pricing page. You get all extensions, all themes. Okay. So I'm not sure what's included for free as far as themes. Maybe all of them are behind a payment gateway or a paywall, sorry. We will find this out. Let's find this out together. So if I log out, we do see the themes and the extensions here, but if I click on one, let's go get it now. Okay, it looks like you do have to buy it. There's a live demo. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and sign in. I'll be right back and all right, so once we are signed in, we see now that it changes the view. Before it kind of lumped everything together. Now we can see an extensions tab and a themes tab. And then here it says available in your subscription. I missed that before, or maybe I read it out loud and didn't process it. But before, this is what we saw. It was kind of like two columns right here. And now we see this where it says available in your subscription. So again, when we started the video, we were working with the default 2025 theme, which is a block-based theme. We then moved on to Hello Elementor, just so I could get that navigation cleaned up. But now if you want to go and install a full theme, you can do that and just view a demo. We're using, I think we use the business demo in this. So let's hypothetically say you're a business and you like the way this D list looks right here. You could go install. So let's see. Now what do we do here? We chose our theme. Let's try that again. Let's go themes. Oh, so it's installed already. Let's activate it. I'm not sure why it's redirecting. Okay, it's coming back here and it's saying we need to do some things. This theme comes with the following directories extensions which are currently uninstalled. So this is going to give you things like business hours. Again, we did the business demo, so this actually was going to work out. Business hours, that makes sense. Listings with map, social login, pricing plans, PayPal payment gateway. Okay. This is convenient. Stripe payment gateways get you those gateways in there. Listing FAQs, because the Stripe payment gateway I was trying to put in there was for WooCommerce, which that's not going to work. Listing FAQs, claim listings, booking, live. Okay, so live chat sounds like it's built in. This isn't like a support situation. All right, so let's just go. What we need to do here. This theme requires the following plugins. All right, let's just go begin installing plugins. Oh, wait. Okay, so it's like requires, but then it recommends some other stuff here. Okay, we'll just go begin installing plugins. Let's go give us all of these. Oh, I see. Let's just do the required. We won't do the recommended. Something called Kirky, and then the D-list core. Install, apply. And then we see this message still. This theme comes with the following. Yep. Let's go manage Directorist extensions. And it's saying here, theme comes with, so this is just optional. Okay. So if you want business hours, for example, what happens if we click this link? Okay. So this goes and explains, oh, this is interesting, interesting, interesting. So you can, maybe you're not a paying customer of Directorist like a subscription, but you can come here, like the main subscription, that is. You can come here and buy these a la carte. Let's see here. So you can pay a yearly fee and you get all extensions. Oh, I see. So I have to correct another thing. It looks like that 30-minute onboarding call is because I signed up. So I got my one site lifetime access so I can be able to do videos for this partner. So that's it. So let me correct that. That's where that free onboarding call is. So you need to pay for that. Um, it's still kind of unclear to me, this extension situation. This theme comes with the following Directorist extensions, which are currently uninstalled. You can manage, install, or activate these from here. Okay, which we are already here. All right, so we come down here. Here's business hours. Let's just go ahead and install that. Okay, so choose the modules that you want. I like that it's modular. So that is cool. So if you don't need social login, for example, don't want to use social login, you don't have to use it. So it's nice that this is a module. It's nice that they give you some they clearly tell you what's recommended and what's required. So you can choose only what you need to choose to keep this as lightweight as possible. So again, we installed this WP Simple Pay Lite. We don't need that. That was just for tinkering around. So we wouldn't have that in there. We wouldn't have this in here. So we would just have at this point what we chose, which is, and what's required. This Kirky customizer framework is required. Let's get rid of that. DList core is required. Directorist is required. Here's that business. Oh, that's kind of cool how they lump them underneath. Right here, you see that? How it's business hour is lumped underneath. So this is what's required. And then again, you can go through the various extensions and only choose what you need to choose in there. So if we come over here, let's see what they do for that Stripe situation. So I'm just going to do a search for Stripe because I want to go back and I want to see that payment gateway that we looked at earlier. All right, let's install this. Back in plugins, we see, okay, so it looks like it's their own Stripe payment gateway. So that's cool. Now, if we go back to Directorist and settings, monetization, payment gateways. I'm not seeing it there. I thought I would see Stripe here. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's see, extensions core. I mean, that's installed, right? And it's definitely installed. Oh, it's not activated. That's why. Let's just activate all of these. Okay, there we go. Now if we go back. Settings, monetization. There we go. Stripe Gateway is right here. It's enabled. It's in test mode. You set up Stripe. If you're familiar with setting up Stripe, this is going to look very familiar to you. Set this up. Now under payment gateways, there we go. We can choose Stripe. We can choose how many gateways we want to, which gateways we want to have set up. So if we just want Stripe, there you go. All right. So that is that. Business hour. That's another extension we installed. Since we installed and activated business hours, we can now configure those business hours. We can style the badge text or set the badge text. We can choose a time format. We can style the badges up and so on. Pretty simple stuff. Import and export. You can run an importer. So if you have, for example, I'm not sure what they import from. CSV file. Okay. So let's say you have a bunch of listings in a CSV file, then you can easily import those listings in bulk into your Directorist website from that CSV file. So you choose your CSV file, you do your column mapping just to clean things up, run the import, and then done. Okay, pretty standard in a directory plugin. So you got to have that as at least as an option. Give people the option of saving a lot of time, because a lot of times people have their listings fully set up in a CSV, and they don't want to have to go into a directory website and just create those one by one. So that's really cool. It's neat too that it's built in. You don't need a separate plugin. All right, back here, same. You can export the listings. So import listings, export listings. Here we have the settings. So if you want to import settings from maybe another Directorist website, you've got everything fully configured the way you like, and you want to not start from scratch, you can import your settings. This is where you would export those settings from that other site. If you need to start over and reset all of your settings, there's an option here. Under advanced, we can get into things for SEO. Turn it on. We can get into meta titles, meta descriptions, author information, category, and so on and so forth. All of the usual SEO types of things. We won't go through all of those. Schema markup, especially it's been important, but especially in today's age with AI, you may want to think about schema type, getting those schema structures in there. So when you're answering AI, when they're asking for this stuff, for example, job posting, if you're posting jobs, then you want to get that schema in there. So you want to do it in general for search engine optimization, but also with the rise of AI, you need to be able to answer those questions, and schema helps with that, because that's after all, underneath the AI, it's a bot. So it needs to know what it's crawling, what type of data it's crawling. So very important stuff there. So you can do it for apply schema to all directories, it looks like, or you can do it on a per directory basis if you have multi-directory enabled. Under miscellaneous, depending on your infrastructure, you may have to tinker with some caching settings. So they give you the option to enable cache. If you disable it, you can reset it, clean things up. But you have to look at your infrastructure. Are you running a CDN? What's your server doing? Are you doing anything with plugin cache level caching? Lots of things to consider. And then if you need to debug some scripts, you can do that. If you need to remove everything, data and everything when you uninstall Directorist, make sure you check this box or this toggle and save your settings. A little pro tip: if you forget to do that and you later come back and you want to clean up your entire site without having to wipe it out, you can reinstall a plugin, Directorist in this case, toggle this on, and then save and then remove. So it's not too late to come back and do this, even if you've uninstalled a plugin. So that's a little pro tip there. Okay, with all of those settings in place, what's left? I mean, categories, locations, tags you can set. We went through all of that. Here's our directory builder under the general tab. So directory icon, selected directory type icon display in all listings, add listing, and search. So you can set that custom icon. You've got font awesome or line icons to choose from. Choose the default listing status, the default listing expiration days, default listing preview image. So we looked at those earlier. Let's try to get back here to all listings. Here we go. There we go. So this is that listing preview, I call it. Let's close some things out here. So if they, for some reason, they don't have an image added to their listing yet, there's a blank, no images, you can set a default image to appear on this card right here. Okay. That is that. You can export a config file if you like. I think what this is going to do, and I'm familiar with this, if this is what I think it is, maybe you set this up and you can export it. Obviously, you can import it into another site, but if you want to export this and then you set up another directory type, they call it, with Directorist, then you could import it in so you don't start from scratch. So I think that's what that's going to do for you there. Add listing form. So this is going to be this big form that you go through when you listing owner adds their listings. It's all of the form fields, things like that. So let's see if we can actually show this easily. Here's our add listing page right here. So this is what we are building in this section right here. What does this form look like? What does it include? What are the different sections? What are the different tabs? You just roll through this form, and there you go. That is the add listing form, single page layout. So again, back here, clicking into a listing, how do we want this to look and feel, and what data do we want to show? You can fully build this out. You can move the sections around, choose how they appear, where they appear, what they say. So we default here to the listing header. You can define what shows up in this area right up here, this top header area. You can define what's shown in the content area, and you can drag and drop these around, these different blocks, we'll call them. So down, that's what's right here. And then last but not least, custom single listing page. You can enable custom single listing page if you want to, I guess, build this out from scratch. Enabling this option will replace the default. You must create and assign a new page with generated. Okay, so with shortcodes, you can turn this on and you could build the layout any way you want. So update, generate shortcodes. What's this? Single listing page. Okay, so you're choosing your, select the page that contains the generated shortcodes or create a new page. Okay, we'll skip that for now. But the moral of the story here is that you can generate the shortcodes and then build your page as you need to. So you've got the various areas here: listing details, description, features, video, location, review. Okay. Again, high level. I've said I would only say it one more time, but high level. We're not diving too far into this. What you need to know is that this is extremely customizable. I mean, you see it right here. Extremely customizable. We're barely like scratching the surface. Like even if you get into each of these things, I'm guessing there's just more. Yeah, there's more settings in each of these. Just a lot to get into. That was the single page layout. Now we are in the all listing layout, which we've seen a few times now. That would be this page, all listings. How do we want this to be laid out? Okay, what sections do we want to add, remove? What order should they be in? Drag and drop, it looks like here, to move stuff around, bottom right, bottom left, top right, top left, that sort of thing. What's it look like in list view? You can set that. So super, super cool stuff. Then you build out your search forms. What fields do you want in there? And I'm guessing there's probably extensions for this that extensions for Directorist where you can bolster your search forms. It's that you saw how many. Actually, if we do, let's see, extensions. Let's plop this in here. Let's go extensions. So you've got all kinds of things. I think it makes sense to rattle these off, right? Analytics, advanced reviews, universal. Yeah, here we go. This is what I was kind of alluding to. You can enhance the search even more. Search alerts, announcements, add-ons kit for bricks, help gen integration, WPML integration, digital marketplace. That's really cool. So if you want multi-vendors to come in and you can make some money off of people selling on your platform, you could do that. There's a job manager, a booking reservation system, listings with maps, business hours, WooCommerce pricing plans. See if you want to bring WooCommerce into this. PayPal payment gateways, pricing plans without WooCommerce, GigaPress integration, MailChimp, multi-directory linking, BuddyPress integration, BuddyBoss integration, Oxygen. You get the idea. I mean, it's tons of stuff here. So that is the directory builder. If you have reviews, those are going to be here and you can respond to those. Here you've got your order history and so on. Okay. I think we're good here. The one thing though is the AI. Let's click on this right here. Directorist AI. It's an AI powered directory builder. And from my understanding, it's included for free. I thought I read that somewhere. I hope I'm right about that. Directorist AI is your smart assistant for creating powerful business listings. Simply tell us what type of directory you envision and it will do it. Oh, okay, so there's part that's under a paywall here. Imagine building a directory, listing, single listings, and listings card designed just by describing your vision. One prompt magic, smart builder. Okay. I didn't see how to do that though. Is it maybe it's an extension? Okay, searching AI is not going to work. There's too many words with AI in it. Um, 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 um. Create template. Sorry, we're learning this together. I'll give this a little more time, and then we'll go ahead and end this video. I'm trying to see if we can figure this out. Settings. All right. Actually, this is what we'll do. I'm going to pause the video real quick. Let me see if I can figure this out, and then I will let you guys know what I find out. So I'll be right back. Okay, I believe I found it. Remember when we started the video, we imported a demo, a business demo. So we didn't need to go through the AI. I thought there would be, and maybe there is, and I just missed it. I thought there would be an AI component after the fact that you could do things. But like I said, maybe I'm just missing it. But I figured out how we can use this. Before we do that, I want to show you over on help and support. I stumbled upon something else. Just know that when you click on that, there's a nice systems information tab in here. We can find out all of the things about your environment here. Also, there's warnings, things like you're going to need SMTP going. This is one of the main things I wanted to show you, that if you want to show somebody your system information easily and securely, you can generate a URL to send to somebody that expires after 72 hours. So that is a really cool thing there. Okay, so if we go back to the main settings page for Directorist, and we turn on multi-directory. So again, we have a business directory, like hypothetically say we want to create something else. With that on, we now have the Start Building Directory button. Shows here we've got our business directory type here. We're going to go Create Directory. Now that we have that, we're going to go Create with AI. You can also create from scratch, but we're going to go Create with AI. Let's just give this a name. We'll go Test. You know what? Let's do this. We'll go Fitness and continue to generate. All right, let's just not choose anything. Can we do others? Tell us about your directory. Let's go others. Okay, here we go. Let's go fitness. And then that automatically populated down here. I want to create a fitness directory. Is it going to ask us other questions? How much of a prompt do we need here? Let's go ahead and clear this out again. Tell AI about your business to get a better. Okay, so I would recommend, because I'm not finding it in the documentation very easily. So directors team, what I would recommend here is a bit more guidance. You need like some suggestive prompts. That would be like example prompts would be good, and maybe some examples of output from those prompts. Because right now I'm not sure if it's going to guide me through the process, or what happens if I don't say enough. What happens if I say too little? So we'll put this back in. I want to create a fitness directory. Some people might just come in and put that. So let's pretend we're a new user, and that's what we do. Continue to generate. Okay, keywords. Sure. Let's just go with all of these. Okay, so you can have a max. Okay, we'll just go with the ones we have here. You can also add your own keyword. So we'll go generate directory. All right, so here are the proposed fields that generated 20. Pin items or regenerate up to one time. Okay, so you can pin them. So that's like what you're going to keep. Oh, okay. Yeah, then you regenerate the unpin. So maybe I like gym name, I like description, address. Yep, I like all this. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, I like all of this stuff. Let's skip promotion for now. Class schedule, opening date. Don't really need that. Health warning. Okay. Let's just say hypothetically, we like these 17, but we want to generate the other three again. So I'm going to go regenerate unpinned. Okay, so that would be another recommendation is to, well, I guess it automatically assumes that they're pinned. Okay, that makes sense. But it'd be easier because you can only regenerate one time. Okay, I'm just trying to think, what did it actually regenerate? Oh, maybe here, trainer information, health services, fitness level. Okay, okay, that's cool. All right. But it's still, you think about the time savings there. That's crazy. Like, that is just crazy. All right, build directory. It's collecting your business information, optimizing your directory with keywords for better content, AI dynamically creating primary fields. Your directory is ready to use already. Wow. Preview and customize the directory. And we've already gone through all of these settings. We don't need to go through them again. But just know that this should be. Oh, remember when I said the export the config file? Maybe you like some of the settings we had on that business directory type. We could bring those in, I'm guessing, somewhere. But anyway. Okay, here we can see all of our fields. We can add more. So I said we wouldn't go over this, but we kind of look like we are, sort of. But yeah, here we see gym address, gym name. So very, very cool stuff. Huge. That's a huge time savings. Huge time savings. Look at all this. That is so cool. That is so cool. Okay, guys, that ran kind of long, but there's just so much to this. And we are like, there's just so much more. There's all those other extensions. There's all of the themes to play around with. We just, the AI is really cool, but who knows what else is possible with that. And it's in beta now. So I'm only assuming it's going to get crazier, better. But yeah, that's Directorist. That is a lot. That is very impressed. Directorist.com. Again, I thank them for being a partner, the team over at WP Wax for being a partner. Yeah, if you want to build a directory, I would definitely check out Directorist, directorist.com. All right. I will see you all in the next video.